Hi, it's Alan.
Who?
That wasn't intentional.
Alan! Who?
It starts with A.
Oh, please keep that in.
Shall we try that again, Andy?
Yeah.
Andy.
Yeah. Sandy.
Let's do that, Cap.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's not Kirk. It's Alan from Before the Sirens.
Welcome to the A.D.K rock and metal channel. Obviously, Kirk isn't here, so we have the wonderful Al with us. Today's video, we are going to be checking out a band called Samael. We haven't done Samael for a little while. And the song we're checking out, Luxferre. I believe, if I said that correctly, I'm doing well. But Luxferre. We obviously know Samael, Andy. Al, have you checked out Samael before?
No, I don't believe I have.
Okay. It should be an interesting experience for you. Looking forward to it. We may be pausing, we may not. I have no idea until we actually get into the song, but let's go check it out. Okay, Samael Luxferre. Al, over to you. What do you reckon?
Okay. So. Yeah. Okay. There were elements of that I quite liked, particularly where because they've got a keyboardist, right? So
yeah.
Particularly where the keyboardist and the guitarist were doing some of the melody together. They were doing the climbs and stuff. There was almost like a sort of Dream Theater-y element to that I quite enjoyed. My problem with that whole song is that the effect that they put over the vocalist's vocals seemed to saturate everything else. I don't know whether that was just from where I was sitting or maybe it's my ears, but I was having to really concentrate to listen to the instrumentation, because the way that the way that the EQ and that kind of bit distortion had been put over his vocals, it just seemed to swallow everything for me, and it wasn't particularly dynamic. He stayed at one level throughout the whole song. So I think if you stripped him out of it, stripped the vocal out of it, I probably would have been able to find quite a lot instrumentally that I enjoyed in that. There were a few things, there were definitely a few passages in there that I kind of enjoyed, but unfortunately, I found his vocals really one-dimensional, and I did not like the effects and EQ they put on it. I really struggled with that.
Interesting. Okay.
Sorry.
Andy, your thoughts?
I'll first of all pick up on what Alan said about the vocals. Yeah, he's absolutely right. To me, it sounds like they've gone back to sort of the sort of ceremony opposites sort of period where the vocals were as aggressive as that and on the same level. You know, the sort of few Samael albums I've got between Ceremony of Opposites and where we are now, the vocals do vary. There's a little bit more melody in line with the keyboards, but yeah, they did kind of saturate out the majority of the sound. Certainly the guitars seem to be varied. It's very keyboard driven, but I mean, I like the look of the video. You know, that sort of almost like street light illumination. You know, the sort of yellow, almost like there's playing in the street. They've expanded the lineup as well from last time I sort of experienced. Samael seemed to be more members on the stage there. And it, as I said, it's going back to that sort of more sort of black metal, death metal style they sort of were, I guess, sort of late 90s, rather than the sort of the songs that spring to mind on sort of subsequent albums like Rain and Jupiterian Vibe, which are more, what word am I looking for? Sort of more sort of sci-fi keyboard direction, rather than sort of that sort of dark death sort of metal sound that they've sort of brought back into the fold sort of on this track, which I guess is a recent release. Dave, is it sort of...
I can't remember actually.
Okay.
It's in recent years, but I couldn't tell you how far in the last.
Okay, I mean,
it has been.
Also, as I say, we're going back to one of my favourite Samael releases that I've got is the Exorcist EP, which sort of reworks and remixes some of those earlier songs with the sort of more modern sort of keyboard electronic kind of vibe, rather than sort of standard sort of death and black metal, which is what they sort of were known for in the early days. But I'm not blown away by it either, to be honest. I do prefer the earlier stuff. I do prefer the stuff I'm more familiar with, but decent track. Perhaps, you know, something I should explore further. You know, maybe check out the album this is from, if it is a, you know, more modern version of the band.
Okay. So the thing I liked about Samael, I liked the early stuff with his vocals were very similar to this in the early stuff, but what you had was a much more riff driven, and the keyboard parts they had a much higher range. They were taking this whole melody element. It was darker, it was more sinister. And for me, it was one of the few bands that we said on the channel that we all really liked when we did what was it, Baphomet's Throne? We all loved that track.
That's riff driven with the keyboards sort of playing interlude melodies, wasn't it?
And his vocals, he was just very much like this on the vocals. Unfortunately for me, when I listen to this, I'm just hearing new metal in the riffs. I'm not hearing early death. I'm not hearing what I would class as the Samael experience. This sounds like the vocalist of Samael has just got some industrial new metal band playing with him. It doesn't feel like that sort of band, that sort of track for me. I didn't get that same kind of feeling I'm going on a journey. I liked his vocals. I just didn't find there was any interest in the actual guitar riffs. They just were basic, chuggy, new metal style riffs to me. They just didn't have any substance. It's an interesting band as well, because the fact that they don't have a drummer, it's all programmed. So even live, it's all just programmed with no drummer on stage.
What was the drummer doing then?
No, he's the keyboardist who, for some reason, decided to play some percussion-y bits, because he only had 3 toms and 2 cymbals that he was playing.
Yeah, see, I did at one point. I saw somebody doing a fill, and but then I never saw a full kit.
That was just him
I
had a
don't know.
little side bit for its keyboard for some strange reason, which I don't understand because you haven't got. There isn't actually a drummer, so I mean, it wasn't a bad song. It's just if this was my first impression of Samael, it wouldn't be one I'd go back to revisit. But because I
and
know the
that-
earlier stuff, I would definitely go explore through their catalogue based on their earlier material.
Yeah.
And his
Whereas-
vocals sounded great, but just were not on the right. It just sounds like he was guesting on someone else's song for me. But there you go, Samael and Luxferre. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.